This is Law & Order, SVU, Season 1, Episode 9, Stocks and Bondage. We open up and we're not wasting any time. There's a body and it's hanging by the bed. Benson and Stabler are already there. The Vic is Layla Briggs. She's wearing a robe. Benson walks around her and she says, "Is there anything she doesn't have pierced?" Oh yeah, there's piercings and burn marks all over. Do we have any reason to believe this was not a suicide? The way that she was wearing the robe indicates that somebody else might have messed with it. Did anybody disturb the body? Did you do it? Did you touch the robe? This episode is all over the place, so try and keep up because I barely could. We're at the precinct and everybody's in a tizzy because she was into some kinky shit. Munch is saying how tattoos are a gateway to sexual deviance. Stabler has one dumb tattoo on his forearm and everybody's like, ooh. They're still not sure if it's a homicide or a suicide or an accident. Layla, the victim, had several self-inflicted or willingly endured wounds. Serious paraphilia, pierced head to toe. They do find out that she worked on Wall Street. Benson and Stabler, you go talk to the family. Munch and Cassidy, you go to her job. We're at the home of Ann Briggs, Layla's mom. She's very sad, but she has a little bit of insight. As far as the suicide goes, she talked to her last week and she was upbeat. They asked her about the sex stuff. She didn't talk to her about personal things. However, when she was in 10th grade, she came to give her a towel in the shower and saw her nipples were pierced. That's where it started. Munch and Cassidy are at her job. It's a Wall Street job. I didn't write it down. My bad. They're talking to this redhead, Amy, the office manager. Amy says, "Hey, my boyfriend runs this whole fucking company." Yeah, Layla was an alpha analyst. She did blah, 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 and blah, 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 and yeah, she was good at her job. Benson and Stabler are talking to the medical examiner. Cause of death? Asphyxiation from a ligature around her neck. Pretty straightforward. That's what we thought it was. Was there assault? I don't know. She was definitely penetrated, but there were no fluids present. They lift the sheet. The amount of sexual injury goes back years. But here's something confusing. This robe she was wearing came back clean. No sweat, no fluids. Shit, somebody redressed her. A remorseful killer? Maybe family? Let's go talk to that mom. Tell us what happened. I was bringing her a cake. Stop bringing your daughter things. She said she took off all the leather stuff she was wearing, threw it away, and dressed her in a nice robe. They go and recover the leather clothing that she threw away in the dumpster. Forensics has it all laid out. Yeah, this is what she was wearing when she died. The fluids in all the right places. Gross. There's 2 sets of DNA though. Hers and a man. So the whipping boy was with her when she died? Oh yeah, there's a whip there. Maybe he got carried away. Maybe he meant to murder her and make it look like he got carried away. There's one problem. Nobody got whipped. No traces of skin or anything on this whip. Except it shakes. Shake, shake. Whips don't rattle. Let's open it up. You'll never guess what dumps out. Go ahead. Try and guess. Try and guess. Can you guess it? It's diamonds. Diamonds. $500,000 worth of diamonds fall onto the table. Benson and Stabler get to go tell the team, guess what? There's DNA from a guy there, and there's diamonds involved now. Benson and Stabler, you go to the diamond district. Figure out who's selling. Munch and Cassidy, here's an enormous file of sex shops that she visited. See if she frequented any of those shops with a partner. We jump to a shop called All Due Restraint, and Munch and Cassidy are asking the worker all about Layla. Yeah, she knew her. She seemed shy, like a first-timer. And Cassidy, who's morphed into this 8th grader talking to a cool college freshman, says that they found her dead, dressed up like a latex turkey. The fuck is that? Do you know any of her partners? She was in once or twice with her boss's girlfriend. No, not a redhead, a brunette. Well, this dude's got more than one girlfriend then? Meanwhile, Stabler and Benson are talking to this diamond guy. He says no, he wouldn't do business with just some regular person because they're probably a crook. I don't know if you knew this, but diamonds are the currency of the underworld. You know, anybody less scrupulous? Anybody less scrupulous? Scrupulous? Fuck it, whatever. Yeah, there's a dude that works upstairs. Go ask him. His name is David McEwen, and he's not scrupulous. Upstairs, David McEwen's looking at a picture. Oh yeah, I know Layla. Yeah, she's a big buyer. She came in 2 weeks ago looking for almost $10 million worth of diamonds. She said it was for work. I didn't ask. She even paid with a corporate check. Ah, that's what it is. Martin Global Fund. That's where she works. I did write it down. Ooh, I'm so good at this. Anyway, the check was from Martin Global Fund and it was signed by her supervisor. Staves is like, okay, well here's my card. If anybody comes asking or wanting to buy again, you call me. They head back to Martin Global Fund and they're talking to Charlene in finance, who's not a redhead, but a brunette. All right, Charlene, we're looking for a check for almost $10 million. How would I know where it is? Because you're in charge of finance? Yeah, we've all worked with that person. Let's go talk to Frank Martin. He's the owner of the company. They walk into Frank Martin's office and he just talk. And I couldn't give a fuck less. Did you know that Layla handled all this financial stuff? Everybody knew that, including the charity. What charity? New Vision Endowment. It's a charity that gives glasses and books to underprivileged kids. Did you know about the sex stuff? Yep. Everybody here at work did, but she didn't really bring it to the office. I would hope not. Let's go to the charity and figure that out. They go and they talk to David Kelp. He runs the charity. And yeah, he knows Layla. Layla managed their endowment. Basically, there's this back and forth between Frank Martin, who owns the company, and David Kelp, who runs the nonprofit. Nobody knows anything, pointing fingers. So fuck it, let's go talk to Cragen. Cragen's like, I'm super jaded. I don't trust a nonprofit. That shit's all public record. Go check it out. So they do, and then they bring it, boom, back to David Kelp. Guess what, motherfucker? You took in $18 million last year, and only $1 million was spent on charity. You want to fill us in? Okay, fine. I let my nonprofit get used and abused because I, like Layla, am into some kinky shit. Pulls up his sleeve, and it's just burn marks all down his arm. He met Layla in the circuit, which is like this underground bondage ring. And he is known as the human ashtray. That's pretty sexy. Tell us more about this circuit. I don't know. I just participate. Here's Anna Faust's information. She runs that shit. So Benson and Stabler go and talk to Anna Faust. And she knows all about Layla. Yeah, 4 months ago, we banished her. She was a submissive, but her master violated the rules. Who was the master? Yeah, Frank Martin. They want to know what he did. If I give you her name, will you punish him like he deserves? Stabler's like, good boy. You know he's taking that back to Kathy Stabler at home. They find this girl and they bring her in, and she is tentative because she's an illegal immigrant from Vietnam. But Captain Cragen gets the story out of her. At this party, Frank Martin wants to do freaky stuff to her, and she says no. 2 weeks later, he calls her up and says, hey, if you like living in New York and don't want to be deported, you're going to do what I want you to do. Which ended up being him assaulting her by choking her out with a belt. So at this point, they have tons on him. There's money laundering, there's assault, there's suspected murder. They go to pick him up. Nobody's there. Nothing is there except for a pile of shredded paper. He's gone. They're back at the precinct trying to regroup. Jeffries has been doing her research, and they're not the only department looking for him. I've got numbers and addresses. Here you go. They go to the Barbasol Hotel, where this auditor named Tucker is staying. He's from Tennessee. He's in New York. He's been trying to track down Frank Martin because of a bunch of illegal financial bullshit he's been pulling. And he's been looking for him for 5 months straight. Can't find the motherfucker. Here's all the info that I have. If you find him, you let me know. And while they're there, Benson gets a phone call. It's Munch, letting her know that McEwen, that shitty diamond guy, somebody did reach out to him. So guess what? We're setting up a sting. Who walks in to do this shady diamond deal? Charlene, the brunette who works in finance. Where's McEwen? Because it's not McEwen. It's Munch and Cassidy. Munch is putting on this gangster accent, and Cassidy's like, well, you don't know who John DeMunch is? Obviously, they get her to implicate herself, and so they bring her in. She is not willing to talk at all, so instead they look at her date book. Who's in that date book over and over again? David Kelp, the charity guy, the human ashtray guy. Yeah, that's her boyfriend. Let's go talk to him. Mr. Kelp, we gotta ask you some questions. Spin the chair around. He's been murdered. Guess what, Sholene? Your boyfriend's dead. She's crying. She tells him everything. Frank Martin did this. He gave me a bag of diamonds. I was supposed to go cash them out and give him the money. All right, Sholene, tell us where you were supposed to meet him. They have the address and they bust in, guns blazing. Freeze, please! And who's sitting there? Not Frank Martin. It's Tucker, the auditor. So they bring Tucker in. Pretty easily they find out, yeah, Tucker and Martin, they know each other. And they've got phone records. The night that Layla died, Martin called Tucker. He said that they were both gonna bang Layla, but once he got there, she was already dead. So where is Martin now? Probably with somebody that he trusts. Maybe somebody with red hair. Maybe Amy, the office manager. They get to her apartment, but it's too late. Her eye is fucked up. She says, yeah, Frank did this. Where is he now? He's at the airport. Benson and Stabler head over there and they're gonna pick him up, but they're not gonna let him know at first that they're onto him. He just thinks that his credit card's not working and they're gonna help him out. They bring him in and Benson and Stabler are being all buddy-buddy. They're eating sandwiches, passing it back and forth because they're trying to buy time and keep him from asking for a lawyer. Meanwhile, Amy the redhead is talking to Cragen. He offers her immunity and that's all it takes. She starts singing. Not literally singing. Frank was a sick bastard. I wasn't into the hard stuff and so he got bored. She says that Frank and Tucker grew up together in Tennessee. And when they were younger, they tied up girls to trees, specifically black girls to trees to get off while they watched them struggle. Holy shit. Benson and Stabler start dropping the hammer. Look at these phone records. You're not telling the truth. Here's the situation. Sholene's turned you in. Amy has turned you in. He realizes how fucked he is. I didn't do it. Tucker did. He says that he was doing Layla. Tucker was choking her. That was his biggest turn on, was seeing how far he could go. And that night he went all the way. Munch and Cassidy have stupid Tucker in an interrogation room. And he's just trying to say how tying up black girls was just the way things were back then, as if torture was just a cultural issue. And just then, Jeffries walks in. Tucker says, "You're not my public defender, are you?" "No, motherfucker, I am Detective Jeffries. And I just came in to see this sorry-ass redneck under the facade of the New South. And now I'm sorry I did." And as she's walking out, she says, "Oh yeah, Martin rolled on him." And all that was Law & Order SVU Season 1, Episode 9. Jum jum.